Hola, ¿cómo estás, colectivo? Welcome back to another pick a card. We'll pick a fragrance. And today we're getting into a juicy topic. How are you currently triggering others? We have 3 perfumes for you to choose from, and of course these fragrances are available in Cosmic Intelligence, so all the proceeds go back to our channel and keeping our lights on so that we can continue to make this information accessible to all. If you do not know me, my name is Felicia. I am a human and civil rights advocate, and I run a non-profit in women's health called DIVAS Can Manifest. All of the information about me and that can be found down below, but without further ado, group 1, you are Sapphire, touching on your body while you're touching on me. Okay, Team Sapphire, shout out to Ed Sheeran for turning us all the way up. Group 2, you are Citrine, abundance, mindset type of energy, July, summer baby energy. Rose quartz, a secondary birthstone for January babies. And the stone of love, romance, charm, beauty, artistry, creativity, all that jazz, food, the good stuff in life. All these elemental edition perfumes are amazing and are inspired by the elements, of course, and the gemstones. So check them out in Cosmic Intelligence. That is our community shop. And without further ado, choose your group and I'll see you in your selection. Hi group 1, welcome to your selection. So how are you currently triggering others? Don't forget to shop Sapphire in Cosmic Intelligence, and don't forget to play Deluxe by Ed Sheeran and stream Sapphire right freaking out. Okay, so let's see, how are you currently triggering others, friend? How are you currently triggering others? The way some of you guys might have been attracted to Pile 1 and the Christmas mystery pick a card, or not that one. What is it? It was the what is their problem with you? Group 1. They have a problem with the way you communicate and express yourself. And it's like, I think that, have you ever like had a conversation with somebody and they, like, you might say something and they'll say something like, oh, not even that, or they're like, they always try to disagree or rebuttal for a claim or stance that you take, and it's really because they have a problem with the way that you communicate and they're triggered by your communication. Does that make sense? Like, have you ever been talking to someone who feels like they challenge everything that you say, they challenge everything that you do, even if it's legitimate, or even if you have the right to your own opinion? And I think that is also very triggering to people. The way that you're triggering this person as well is like, you seem like you have such a higher vantage point. Like, you seem so far removed from it. You seem, the way that you communicate, you seem so unbothered about it, and they just are feeling very, very burdened, okay, by your most recent growth, success, and accomplishments, your family. Some of you guys have brought justice to this situation. How are you currently triggering others? Pile 1, your bear. Okay, your bear is triggering others. Your bear is not playing about you. Okay. Ooh. And then we have the mediator. Okay. So this, you guys could be getting ready for marriage, or you must have recently got married, and that's very triggering because they know that means that this protector does not play about you. Some of you guys have been in mediation with someone who's been going to prison, and this has been creating a lot of sorrow for your partner, and this is very triggering to, you know, this is very triggering. Like, them seeing your protection while in this mediation is very triggering. I think that what's happening is that, like, someone knows that they're about to go to prison. I'm hearing someone knows that they're about to go to prison because you came in first, is what I'm hearing. We have the 9th house. that's crazy because that also came out recently in group one of the recent pick of cards, or like multiple could find things. I know for sure the what is their problem with you, but also it could be the Christmas pick a card as well. But yeah, this person, something recently where somebody got arrested. Some of them were driving with a suspended license, and they got arrested, and they have new mug shots on the internet or something like that. Someone's mug shots came out from them when they were in prison, and they know that you've never been arrested before. And some of you, they feel like it's because they're so scarce and you're so spiritual through the ninth house. That's very triggering, because some of them, they see that you have been given all this protection, and they were the ones that just got arrested oh my god. Or some of them are going to prison, which means that nobody is protecting them, and that's very triggering to them. Okay, that's very, very, very triggering. Somebody's going to prison, or they've just recently got out of prison, or got booked. Okay, so how you're triggering others. Power one. I feel like you guys you could be going and adjusting through a big change because you're in a mediation. Some of you, this is definitely involving crime, and this person's protection of you is very triggering, because they know that means that someone is for sure going to prison, okay? Or for sure you're winning at court, and they did not have enough philosophy, okay, or something to defend something that they've been doing, okay, to commit crime or something like that. We have unhealed masculine energy. Some of you guys have recently just set a new trend, and they are watching your trends everywhere. You are a consumeristic image in society, literally. And some of you guys did not mean to go pop like this. You didn't mean to set this trend. But ever since you set this trend, this has put so many targets on your back, and someone has literally been unhealed masculine energy because you've had an education, or you've been like this popping trendsetter, and they have been like overly competitive when this literally did not make sense. Something that they did, and started committing crimes against you to compete to set a trend, or to compete for rewards and recognition. And this person, they have been super spiritually disconnected, and what's triggering is that they're disillusioned as being spiritually disconnected. The more abundant you are, and something where they keep making excuses, or they have no help, and they see that you have been getting help, and that is really triggering to them. And it is scary for everybody, I think, because it means that like this is fatal. I'm like something where like you guys have laid down the law in this situation. You've maybe shared a lot of philosophy, spirituality, and knowledge, and especially if you're like, you might even be using sapphire gemstones for mental clarity, and getting a lot of different insights around this. And the new insights that you get, you are setting new trends with those new insights. Like your self-expression is so it represents an expansion, and these unhealed masculine energies have been refusing, okay, so it is like they see that people are on your side, is what I'm hearing. They see that people are on your side in this whole situation. And but I do think a lot of this involves spirituality and superstition. And so for a lot of people, this is something you're doing is something that they could not conceive before. It is something that they did not possibly think could be possible. you are doing and shocking everyone. So this is a rite of passage, and you have to fight for your future. You have to fight and defend the spiritual stance, defend the superstition or this philosophy, defend with your knowledge. And they have not been able to defend with their knowledge. They haven't been able to they haven't been setting the trends. They're not the person that's getting the consumeristic image in society, and a lot of it is because they haven't had education in university. They feel like the way that you defend your stance, you lay down that law, you lay down that philosophy, you lay down the knowledge, you use your spirituality for your personal betterment, and they see that you grow and expand beyond this resistance and opposition where people have been disharmonious and challenging your authority, or just have been overly competitive. Like, some of this stuff has not even been, some of them started attacking you at your potential, and they have literally been just materialistic and selfish, and they try to act like you're not the one helping them when they're really codependent on you for clarity. And I think that, you know, what's triggering is that they feel like it's closer to when they go to the big house, friend, the prison. Okay, the big house, look it up on urbandictionary.com, especially for my international friends, urbandictionary.com. Okay, so a lot of y'all, though, these people, the reason why they're triggered is because you keep laying down this philosophy, knowledge, and spirituality, and it reflects your education and your humility and devotion to lifelong learning. And that means that you are winning at court, you're winning in this spiritual space. You're literally just, you're the one setting all the trends, you're the one getting all the support, because you have a deep perspective that's deep and tenacious, forming real true bonds, making people real believers of something that they probably once thought was not possible, or they thought was pseudoscientific. So you are pioneering and doing and creating something that has not been done before. So leave space and room and have reverence for change. These unhealed masculine energies, despite anything that they may feel is controversial about your belief system or your approach to life, this has there's no bearing and no justification for your crimes committed against humanity. Some of them, okay? This was people in a cult-like organization, or people who were had a problem with your spirituality, or had a problem with your belief system. Maybe they're a religious group, or they're some other kind of group, okay, that is not, that may, like, where you're like, it reflects like your university education, your higher learning. And I think that what really came down to it, friends, is that they were not able to defend these crimes, this cult, or these gang stalkers. They were not able to defend it, and they got canceled. Okay, so that's really, really triggering, that the party is over and you're setting off these trends and everybody is partying with you. Okay, so that is very triggering, friend, because someone just went to prison, or about to go to prison. Okay, when they got locked up recently, something happened in November. When they got locked up recently, that was really triggering, because they saw that you was just out getting protected by this bear or something like that. Okay, so how are you triggering others? Yeah, you release that shadow attachment. You're like, no, this is not my responsibility. They were just really emotionally immature, and now they just wish that things could go back to the way they used to be, because they see you popped off now. They see you setting all these trends now, and they see that you've recovered from their crimes that were committed against you. And you have freed yourself and have grown a protective awareness around their disruption, because they were envious of your social class, your university education, your spirituality that may be different than their belief system, and felt so dumb next to all your knowledge and philosophy. And you, because you have had a deep and tenacious perspective, you have been so like tea about setting trends around your spirituality and knowledge and philosophy. Like, people really want to project your image of your home and your philosophy because it is so well endowed. And now they see that you done popped off, you done got protection, they see that you're winning at court. They just wish that things can go back to the way they used to be, friend. They wish that they can that they didn't fight and attack you. Okay. Yeah, for some of you this is a criminal, and they're just they're very apathetic, and they got publicly humiliated. They did not win at court is what I'm hearing. Okay. Something about you guys also just may have received a big bouquet of flowers, or you received a big gift, and it is also like helping you be successful, and some of it is setting trends for you. If you know, you know. But yeah, these people are really just like, they're very triggered by you because they fell short with this fighting and attacking. When they saw your philosophy, knowledge, spirituality, university, and education, they just started fighting and attacking. And they didn't know that this like provider, protector person was making sure that you got credit for your work. And they just feel publicly humiliated because they did not consider the social considerations. And I think that like, you were crowned as the best, you were crowned as the number one, you were crowned as the trendsetter, you were crowned as the queen, king, and they're sitting there watching your trends all over the consumeristic society, and they just cannot stop thinking about, you know, where they kept fighting and attacking, where they kept misstepping, where eventually you left them high and dry and moved on and got protection from them in their fight, where they were easily offended by your knowledge, and that was like hella awkward and caused so much discord and disharmony, and you just learned to protect yourself from them. Like, you protecting yourself from them was very triggering. And they just had like, this could even be a group of people with the Six of Wands reversed, but they're very restless about you because they were doing something, it was truly immature, and it shows and reflects how much they didn't have knowledge and philosophy and spirituality, and that they were spiritually disconnected. And they keep getting disillusioned as your trends keep setting off more and more and more. And your education keeps showing off more and more and more, and you just keep putting a big difference between you and them that were doing something petty and got easily offended, overly competitive, and it just made them look materialistic, selfish, and they got embarrassed in the end. Some of them are going to prison, and this is like the ultimate humiliation, unfortunately. That's what I'm seeing, friends. They see that they're just filled with a lot of inner criticism. I think that like, some of them, they will lose hope and all security in life with a prison sentence, because they started to do something that was overly competitive to compete with the trend that you set. They kept trying to justify their crimes with like, when they really started following your trends and started to compete with it like it was something that they created. And some of them went to the furthest extent to commit crimes against you so that you couldn't get credit for your work. Or so that your university and education couldn't be displayed, and couldn't disillusion them with a superficial, shallow ignorance. And that's very, very triggering, friends. Let me know how this resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi, Pal 2. Welcome to your selection. So you chose Citrine, and Citrine is available in Cosmic Intelligence, so go ahead and check her out if you want to help us keep our lights on and give back to our nonprofit organization to keep making this information accessible to all. So let's get into it, friends. How are you currently triggering people right now? Okay, how are you currently triggering people right now? This came up recently in a reading, but this is just a channel message before we get into the cards. You're sent is very triggering to people. Okay, very triggering. And these people, some of them don't know how you smell, and they're just watching your fragrance collection through the internet or on a television screen, and they just don't know how you really smell, so they can't mimic your smell. Okay. Some of them want to dupe you. Okay. Some of them want to copy. Some of them really want to project your image so bad. These people have gone to extremes. Like, this is so weird, y'all. The copycats and the dupes, that's weird. People dressing up, you know, I think that really turned really weird, friend. Really, it turned really weird. Okay, things went far, friend. Okay. But I think that, like, how you could be triggering people is like, they know that you could be smelling good, but they don't know exactly how you smell, so they can't ever steal your identity. Okay, these are people who really have been attacking your root chakra and have really been incessant on stealing your identity. Okay, yeah, your tree, your foundation, your wisdom. Even some of them, they're very triggered by your foundation, your wisdom, your enlightenment, your family, how your family has expanded most recently. Some of you guys have gotten 5 new members of your family. Okay, some type of 5 new members. 5 new members of your family. Okay. So, how are you currently triggering people? These people, it's like something where they want to pull your roots really bad and keep trying to steal your identity so that you can't ever feel connected to a path. It's like something where it's like an inability to commit to a path, and it's really because people keep trying to steal the path that you're on by projecting your image, and they know that, like, the way that you smell can never be, you know what I'm saying, can never be projected, friend. Can never be projected. That's something that's unique. These are people who are obsessed with your body. Okay, we have sorrows. So you guys, you know how you're triggering people is they know that a man is there's a man that's a part of your family that has been in a lot of sorrows as well. Okay, so these both wanted to come out. Okay, we have midheaven, medium coolie, we have moon, void of course, moon. Okay, so I think that this is a woman that's very triggered, and this woman feels like you came in and handed them a napkin, or something where you came in and handed them sorrow. This person, like, they are definitely deceptive. This person, do not trust that this person has a heart. But I think that this recently have, like, something happened where you recently came in to a situation and showed someone something that you received. Okay, maybe you showed them a big bouquet of flowers. Maybe you showed them a new direction that you were heading in, and you kind of just, like, I don't know, I guess, like, the imagery, or I don't know, the symbolism of, like, handing someone a napkin. It's like something like, here's a napkin, dry your tears, because I don't know what you've done, but you literally handed this person an ale. They are in sorrow because of the way that you have created a disconnection. You have totally disconnected them from something that they thought was secure. They thought that they were heading in the same direction as someone, but when you received a gift or received a message, this disconnected this person. They were forced to withdraw, and that was very triggering. Okay, they were very forced to withdraw after seeing some type of direction that you started heading in, or some type of gift that you received, and they just were not expecting that whatsoever. Okay, so some of them did not know that you existed, and when they saw how beautiful you were, they knew that it meant an L for them. Okay, they knew that I don't know, this may have been dealing, this could be someone's ex. This could be someone who is, I don't know, someone who was not expecting you, and when they saw your beauty, this could be about a partner, and they know that, like, some of you guys are pole dancers, and when they saw your face card, they were very shooketh. Okay, we have crown chakra activation, something that you did to transmute some negativity, and it disconnected this ex. Okay, the way that you transmuted this negativity recently helped this person understand a sacred direction that they have been heading in, and have commanded them to to maintain their spiritual conviction and follow their spiritual purpose. This higher consciousness that you've delivered, it brought a sense of unity, but it also showed that this other path, it was not about your beauty, but about thinking beautifully. This other situation, like this ex, has really been really isolated from them. They really have not played a major role in their life. They've been lacking direction. This has not had a meaning whatsoever. And this person has had a lot of mental confusion. So feeling connected to a higher purpose has been hard, especially when they've been isolated and haven't been feeling a sense of oneness and experiencing deep inner peace with heightened intuition to follow their path. This person, when they saw how beautiful this transmutation of negative energy was and how it brought a sense of unity, they knew that it meant that they would be withdrawing and disconnecting. After receiving this transmutation, they realized that you were the tree, you were the ancestry, the family, and the heritage, and that this other path was a midheaven, was a liminal realm where they experienced a lot of confusion, headaches, feeling disconnected, feeling, struggling with their spiritual practice. And this transmutation have anchored this person with a spiritual conviction. And despite the sorrow, you are being demanded to follow your spiritual path. Do not choose lust over your family and your ancestry. Do not internalize issues about your self-image. Get up and finish the project that you were intended to do. This situation was because it may have been in a liminal realm where it was lacking direction, but where you have facilitated a deeper connection to this higher consciousness, have blossomed your ancestry even more. So it was like you handed this X and L. Like they knew that they were not going to be, they knew that they were going to be withdrawn from. Okay. So sugar daddy, yeah, these people, I'm getting that these exes were just sugar babies, or people where they internalized a lot of issues around their self-image, having inferiority complexes, and really have been feeling isolated from the world and not having a sense of connection. So if you think that there is a deep connection with this ex, that is not a deep connection. These memories and higher consciousness that they've gotten about the situation are really, really superficial. They were just their sugar daddy, or they were really in the process of withdrawing from these people when they came around you. Okay, so it was something that you did most recently to give this a more direction, help this person trust their spiritual path a lot more. Okay, and trust you a lot more, especially because a lot of them have really been lacking connection. These people, you think that, oh, why are they at a crossroads? Why are they triangulating? Why are they exploring options? It's really because they're superficial and they have been in a lot of sorrow and lacking trust on which direction to go in, and don't think that this is meaningful whatsoever. Like, how could they, like, these people cannot compete with you. This person knows that you're the one, or they, like, it may have been a period of sorrow and confusion, but this could be to, related to a lot of different other external factors like physical health or mental health. So it needed a transmutation. These negative thought patterns and behaviors around self-image that have been keeping you separate and that have been keeping them truly isolated and in the liminal realm, where all these options are not really, they really don't have a direction. They're just there to try to use them for money. Okay, it's not that it's even when you came around or something that you did that was triggering, pulled their roots. It let them know that you were the mom, okay, or let them know that they were just the midheaven, they were just the liminal realm, they were just the place where the waiting area, the waiting room, they were just the opening act or something like that, okay? And now that you've received this direction, you can follow it with faith, and they see that you're following it with faith, and that is building your tree, that's building your ancestry, that's building more structure around something, okay, for you. After withdrawing from them in the liminal realm, they literally have no, they're literally just conventions, losers. They have no purpose. They're not manifesting anything. They have no true direction. These relationships are not deep and tenacious whatsoever. This person really feels extremely isolated, okay? So don't even worry about that, friend. Something that you did most recently helped them clear confusion with the Queen of Cups, because they've been very overwhelmed. Okay, they've been very, very overwhelmed by all these different possibilities, pathways, options, and timelines. And you did something that gave them more direction. Okay, gave them the direction that they were looking for, and helped them detach from this Queen of Cups in the reverse. Help them detach from these sugar babies, or help them detach from these these cloud chasers, fame hungry people who were just around for, as a codependency, that really they have been not connecting with them. They're the King of Swords when they're with them. They're not like satisfied whatsoever. They're cold and detached and just overwhelmed by all of the different illusions of this, around something that they've, like, something that it's like their path. They have made so much. They feel like they're in the mid range. They're not exactly where they want to be, yet they're still becoming formidable. And so they have been really, really overwhelmed by all the change and all of the rapid growth. They are really doing really great, but they're very overwhelmed by all these relationships and all these people who have been trying to use them for money, and all this lacking of direction. But this is something that you did help clear away confusion and help this person understand where their true ancestry, family, and heritage is. And they've just been feeling very overwhelmed since disconnecting from these other people, okay? So yeah, people who are not aligned, lovers that are not aligned, people who were just strategizing, they were not deep and tenacious. It literally just made this person feel even more rejected and abandoned. That they have literally, some of them have built up this tree, or they've built up this home and family, and they built up this influence, or have gotten rewarded and recognized in a way, and they still have not felt, they've still been rejected and abandoned, and still don't have partners in their work or in romance or family that are aligned relationships. And so they have been very overwhelmed by all of the illusions that they were under, that, like, where this path took them in order to get to this midheaven, or to get to this liminal realm. And they have been in this liminal realm, and still feeling confused about where they're meant to go, and something that you did recently helped them clear away that and help them realize where to go, and made them disconnect from these other options, possibilities, and timelines. And that was very, very triggering, because it helped them discern their strategies. It helped them discern and give them a higher consciousness around the relationships. It helped them realize that the relationships were lacking direction, and help them feel more connected to a higher purpose. But I think at this time they're still like really overwhelmed by everything that they're disconnecting from and all the change that could be happening in this process. So just give them space for them to do that, I think. And I think that you were successful. I think that this triggering needed to happen, because especially when you think about Manipura chakra, solar plexus chakra, something needed to happen to give this person the will or the drive to move forward. But there was so much confusion and all these possibilities with these Queen of Cups, people who were needy, desperate, doing anything to get a little bit of sugar, friend. And they were just not, they were not a direction whatsoever. They were just poor investments that they made, wealth that they lost, negativity, negative thought patterns that they've had on repeat. And so they finally cleared away these illusions and pathways and realized that those relationships are not aligned, and they're still in the reckoning of those relationships, because they represent them being in a lot of sorrow. Because like, why would you be like, those are just like, it just represents failure, failed relationships. And yeah, so I think that they started to get discern this Queen of Cups, this woman, and this woman, you handed them an ale or something like that. It said, dry your tears, baby girl. It's over, and there's no more illusion and strategizing now that we have more direction in our connection. Okay, that's tea. Thank you so much, Pal 2. Don't forget to shop Citrine and Cosmic Intelligence. And all of the proceeds go back to helping us keep our lights on and making this information accessible to all. But without further ado, I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your selection. So you chose Rose Quartz, and that was available in Cosmic Intelligence. So go ahead and check her out if you would like to get back to us, help us keep our lights on so that we can keep making this information accessible to all. All proceeds go back to Divas Can Manifest org, our nonprofit organization. And I thank you guys so much for being here. Okay, so let's hop into it. How are you currently triggering others? Okay, how are you currently triggering others, friend? Something where your creativity is offering you relief from a stressful problem or issue that you've been having in your life. In your life, something happened on a Saturday. Okay, so something happened on Saturday that was triggering others. You guys could be on cloud 9 with someone. Yeah, I knew this was gonna come out. I was hearing that all throughout the premeditation. Siren, siren, siren. Y'all, it's because you rich, friend. Okay, so some people, if you outside and people just stop and stare like they, I don't know, just fell into a coma, I think that just, it's because they don't know that you're rich, but your aura is rich, friend. You cannot be ignored. You are a siren of chaos. That's the Rose Quartz. You are a siren of chaos, and I know some of y'all are trying to go outside and you're trying to be modest, and you're trying to embrace modesty and trying to be conservative and things like that. But when they see your bust and your delicate shoulder blades and your jawline, friend, I don't know. It's just drama, okay? It's drama. You are a siren. You literally, you are triggering everybody, okay? What did I say? A brief illness. Like, people feel like they go into a coma. You see how they laid out? Friend, they just go into a coma, or they feel like they go into a brief illness seeing after I don't know, hearing your siren. So they get very confused and very very stressed, and they feel like they pass out. Something where they pass out when they see you. Some of you guys, you've been pregnant, or you recently got pregnant, and they see that you gave birth or something recently that was triggering. You giving birth was triggering, or you about to get pregnant is triggering. Especially if you're a siren getting pregnant, y'all be safe out there. As the sirens, if you finally find, if your siren ass finally gets to procreation, then this is going to set off. People are going to lose their shit. People have already been losing their shit. Something where Scorpio has been losing their shit. Okay. Someone's name that starts with the letter P or A, N, S. Yeah. Okay. So we have Libra energy. So some of you guys, a situation that you've handled diplomatically and brought about harmony and balance is bringing you a fair outcome in a situation. And the more that you like, the more diplomatic that you are, it helps resolve conflicts. Okay, and it helps people feel a sense of unity and connect in harmony. And I think that you will be this person's name can start with the letter J. They could be a Pisces. So what happened here? Well, how are you currently triggering others? Yeah, I think that they definitely want to peacefully resolve the conflict, and they have hope. Okay. But the Seven of Wands, yeah, friends, they see you as the star, and you are, because you are a siren, you are literally, that's the, like, I feel like if there's like any, like, the star could not be a more siren-y tarot card. You showing out, bopping out as the siren, it makes people disharmonious. Just you living and existing makes people fight and attack you. Okay. Some of them, they want to have sex with you, and that they want to have a baby with you, and so that's why they're triggered, is because they want to procreate with you really bad, because you are a star to them, and they have just been working hard to get prepared to resolve a conflict that they've been in. Tell me more about this Five of Swords. How are you currently triggering others? Group 3. Okay. Yeah, the ending of the conflict that, is coming to an end. Okay. This is something that was immature. This person, the reason why, this could literally be someone, the baby daddy, okay, or somebody who wants to have, who wants to be intimate with you. They cannot, seeing you as the star, you're seeing your breast curve. You see how in this image, the way that the fabric just fits perfectly around her bust, it is just like, people cannot ignore that, and it's like it just screams sex. When people see your breast, it screams sex, and that is why you're so triggering, because they know that means that people will be grabbing those breasts, friends. Okay. So I think that this person who is triggered by you is could manifest. They couldn't manifest anything, and they were taken out by you. This was a KO. This feels like a KO, friends. Okay. This person, if this was a third party, yeah, with the Three of Cups in the reverse, this person did not manifest anything. They did not, the reason why they're triggered is because they did not manifest anything. And some of you guys are about to give birth, and that's like the epitome of manifestation. That's the epitome of the sacral. Birth, babies, and businesses. And they see your books, babies, and birth, and businesses, and they see that this reflects like a self-mastery that they just never attained with the Magician. Does that make sense? How you're triggering others? Let's get some channel message before I forget. Some of you, especially if you were pregnant, they knew that you were having a lot of sex. Okay. Okay, we have the air element, we have divine timing, and we have operations. Okay, so yeah, this could be this the jelly team. Yeah, these are the jelly team that's mad because you and your partner have come into harmony and balance and have found, have found a way to operate with one another. Something where your relationship becoming functioning has been very triggering to these people, which means that the party with them is over. That means that you are no longer working with them and that you are focusing on something else. Seeing the way that you operate behind the scenes, people are getting, maybe they're watching you on a vlog or they're watching some behind the scenes, maybe you're sharing bloopers and stuff like that, and that's very triggering because it shows how you operate. It shows that you function better than them. It shows that you have greater balance around this situation, and they just, you've been able to peacefully resolve conflict and show up as the star, and that they just like, they don't want you to have hope for a better future. They don't want you to give birth to more, like, they don't want you to give birth. They don't want you to get pregnant. Some of them, they don't want your business to grow. They don't want you to have a creation. They don't want you to have books to read. These people literally, I think that they're triggered because they're still mastering themselves. I think that they are, especially if this is your romantic partner, they definitely still get triggered, but they're safe. It's not like when they're triggered, you might want to separate, or you might not, like them sometimes, or you might feel like you need to take space from them. But it's not because they're doing something harmful. It's because they can't operate or something like that, or they just have an issue with a bad habit that they still need to come into balance about, or something else from their past that they still need to come into balance about, and it's not about you or that they're doing anything harmful. So that's for some of you guys, but for others, these could be people who were in a network, and these are canceled friends, and they know that you're not interested in being friends with them anymore. That it's just like throughout all this fighting and attacking, they've just been like not manifesting anything. Okay, and I don't think that these are relationships that work out. So I think, like, even the friendships, but these feel like people who were in secret competitions even. And when they saw you, you were a siren. It took them through this triggering took them through an entire illness. It was very chaotic for them as well. You were not seeing you as a star made them realize that they didn't have everything that they needed to operate in life. It made them, realize that they were not enough. And they just see, like, how you're triggering them is they're seeing some type of operations behind the stardom. They're seeing how you operate behind the scenes. They're getting communication around how you operate behind the scenes, and how you reason, how you comprehend, how you make decisions with clarity. And some of them could be seeing that makes you ready for motherhood, that makes you ready for pregnancy. Some of you guys will be getting pregnant at the age of 34, and they just feel like, so that's very triggering. And I think that they have hope because they feel like they have found harmony. But I think that what's triggering is that you're not open to reconciling. Some of you guys, they're very confused about if you would be open to reconciling with them. And for a lot of you guys, you have compassion for these people, but they have been very unstable, and they have a lot of mood swings. And I think that after, they were just very burdensome, and you felt like it was hard to get them to operate well or something like that. And watching you move on and not like consider them or not be partying with them, it is very triggering. because they see that you have better decisions, that you did not make your decisions based on emotions but logic, and moved away from the conflict, found harmony elsewhere perhaps. I think that how you're triggering these people is this ending that brought peace. It ended the conflict. It was some type of communication that they may have got around your operations that helped them realize that they were nowhere near your level of operation. They were nowhere near your level of functioning. They were nowhere near going to, like, this person didn't want to impregnate them, and they really have a lot of desire to impregnate you. Some of them, they just feel like you're on cloud nine with someone and you just have totally forgotten about them, okay? They feel like you're not at all interested in having a friendship with them or a romantic partner, if this is a romantic partner, or having romantic relations with them either, okay? And that you peacefully resolve your conflict and was like watching you as the star, and they just didn't manifest anything, okay? I don't know, like, does that make sense? I think that is your good outcome is putting an ending to this relationship. And I think that it is where you peacefully resolve the conflict, but you don't need to, maybe it's an unconventional relationship where you don't need to have physical security. You don't need to talk to these people anymore. You don't need to follow them on social media. You don't need to operate with them. And that's very triggering to see that you're a star and didn't have to operate with them. They had expectations of you, and you were just a child. Some of these people, you were things, if this is a romantic partner, they had expectations of you, and started projecting on the way that you operate and function when you were just a child. You were not barely functioning and operating, okay? So that's very triggering as well. Watching you operate is triggering because it could be making them see you as a child, or it could be making them defensive because they're impatient, that you're just a child and you're still not ready for them, or something like that as well, is what I'm hearing. But it helped them resolve a conflict that they were having. They were mad. They were expecting you to be ready quick, or they were expecting you to hurry up and come have their child, or come and, be ready to live in a house with them, and you're just like, I'm not ready to live in a house with no grown man, or something like that. Like, it was like something where you were literally just not ready, but you have a lot of hope that you'll be, ready in time. And I think that they just, so, oh, this is making more sense. Some of you guys, this person was conflicting with you because they had expectations of you and expected you to operate a certain type of way, but you're literally just a child, or you're just reaching your maturation, and you have not been operating well whatsoever, okay? You have not been functioning like an adult, and you have just been learning how to make decisions and learning you've been enhancing your communication skills, okay, as you reach adulthood and maturation. You've definitely gotten more intelligent and have been comprehending. It's like they saw you when you were a child, and you definitely were not having comprehension, friend. And so they grew defensive because you were not ready yet. Okay, you were not ready yet. And they have hope for you, but they see that you're still mastering yourself. But they're also having this toxic expectations because they're still mastering themselves too. Okay, I think that sometimes though with the siren, it can mean that this relationship is infeasible, and that they're triggered because they know that it's not feasible, and that this was just a relationship that was used to master. Okay, master yourself from when you were a child. Some of you guys, you're about to receive, now that you're ready or reaching maturation, or when you get ready, when you become ready, is when you'll receive this letter, is what I'm hearing. You will be, and people know that, like, if they're seeing you make progress or seeing you get ready, get more things that you need. These could even be these could even be strangers that see you and they just know they're not enough for you, with the Magician in the reverse. And or you might even start getting to know them, and then things just fizzle out, and that you know that that's not enough. They don't have everything that you need, and that you were just a star to them, that you were just a siren to them, that you were just someone that they couldn't resist. And when you didn't want to have their baby or something like that, they got very triggered. Or when you disillusion someone else, or you disillusion the mother of their child, that also was very triggering as well. You being a star is very triggering, especially when they see the way that you operate and how you have hope for a better future. Like, they just literally see you as enduring, persevering, and that's very triggering. And they just feel like they're getting left behind. And a lot of these people just saw you mature and grow from when you were a child and you didn't know how to do anything, and you didn't know how to operate, and you didn't know how to function. Now they see that you have come into some rational decision making skills. You've gotten a lot of communication, information. You've had a strong life force energy. You reason your way through things. You comprehend. You make very clear decisions, and you function, and then keeps, like, your decisions determine how brightly you shine. That's one of my favorite affirmations. My choices reflect how brightly I shine. And they see the way that you operate has reflected how brightly you shine, and you are literally the star. After, like, and I think that, like, some of these are strangers who are seeing you at the first impression, and they immediately have an illness. It's like something where you trigger them so bad, you trigger their defensiveness so bad, especially men. When they see you and the way that you operate, they literally go into cardiac arrest. And you're just like, ew. Okay, it'd be like the end. Okay, it'd be the end, friend. When they see how you operate, especially when some of them are just attracted to you because of your beauty, and then they see how you operate and that you're a rational person and you're not just like the superficial thing that they projected onto, it's very triggering. Okay, you make them go within, you make them apathetic, you make them want to lay down, friend. Why you gotta make them why you gotta lay them out like that, friend? These are strangers or people that you might not even know or talk to. They just see you as the star, and they immediately go into a deep reflection, internal struggle, apathy, disconnection, cardiac arrest. Oh my God. Or these could also be people who you were once friends with, but they literally, like, you were friends with them and outgrew them. And you may have done this from when you were a child, and they saw that you have literally outgrown them, and they get left behind. They get left behind because they don't know how to operate well. And that shows that they don't know how to adapt to the changing times, that they don't have a good enough expression. Like I said, they don't have everything that they need to shine bright like a diamond the way that you are. Okay, and they're just there as unsuccessful people. It's like, I don't know, your success, friend, your operations, the way you operate your business, your brand, the way you operate your day-to-day routine, it is very triggering to people, because they know that means that you're getting ready for the highest responsibility. And a lot of that, the highest responsibility, is motherhood, and that is very triggering. Some of them, they realize that you're becoming a mother, or you're becoming a committed partner, and they feel like that means that the relationships with the third parties or your past options, that means that it's over, and it's like divine timing for those relationships to end in the same perfect timing as you get everything that you need to be a star. You have all of the information that you need to make the correct decisions in this situation, and they just feel like they don't have any, they were never enough. Okay, so they didn't manifest anything like you. And that's very triggering. Watching you as the star, they're very triggered because they're getting left behind. They represent the past baggage and something that we're no longer invested in. The party's over. Friends are canceled. Fake friends are canceled. Old flames, ex-lovers canceled. We got all the information that we need. And some of you, this is your partner that's getting defensive because they know that you're still not ready, and that they know that you're the mother of their children, or they know that they can't wait for a sex friend. So they said hurry. Get your results faster, because they see that you still do not have everything that you need, and that you're still mastering yourself. And a lot of this isn't about like how you look or showing up with with something that you think that you need to feel worthy of this encounter. Okay, this person literally just feels like you are emotionally disconnected, and you need to get more information about something so that you can feel connected to them again. Okay, you need more information about this person, or there's a period where you need to work by yourself so that you can master something, and they're very defensive when you need to go master on your own. Okay, if this is your committed partner, when you need to go master something on your own, or you need to go have time for yourself, this person will throw an emotional tantrum every time that you need to have solitude, or you need time for yourself. Maybe you do take breaks from the relationship, or they literally just impact you so much. I feel like your elements that are really impacted are earth and water. And some of you guys, you are not emotional, you are a siren. So you have a different neural pathway where they think that there's certain behaviors would cause these different emotional geysers. They really just make you mad, or they really just like, they think it's going to be, they do something where they think it's going to lead to like a party or fun or celebration, but it literally just makes things fizzle out for you. You lose attraction for them in a way, I think, because you are a siren. When they do something childish or immature, you're just like, stop projecting as something superficial. Like, you just know it's because they're projecting something superficial, and that makes them defensive and angry, because you're just like, they know that they're not enough, and they know that they're just immature, if that's making sense. If this is a romantic partner, this person they will have petty fights, and you're just like, I'm a siren, I'm neurodivergent. I don't think like these neurotypical people, and fight like these neurotypical people, and they just keep fighting about something neurotypical, and they're still trying to master that. But I think that ultimately this projecting and neurotypical like communication style is like, it really turns you off or something like that. For others, you really just need to, you've been the one hoarding emotions, or you're just, if you're a siren, you're truly traumatized. You might have a lot of trauma, and you are very cold and detached, some of you, and they just cannot, that's very triggering to them. Okay, because they feel like you don't have enough emotional, they feel like you're not emotional enough about them, but you are. It's just that their behavior is, they cannot communicate well. Like, I think that it has not been feeling harmonious to you. It's been making you feel unsafe and drained. Okay, and they have just been watching you while they throw tantrums and fight and attack and be impatient about something. Like, some of them, they're waiting on you, and they just feel so impatient, but it's literally, you're just a child, you're still learning how to operate, and they just have been having these expectations that you will be having these normal functionings, that you will have the functioning and operating of a white man, and that's just not your privilege. That may be their privilege, but it's not your privilege. No, there's pile 3 may not have the functioning of a white man. Stop having all these toxic expectations of how you should function and operate. You're doing the best that you can. Some of you guys have been ill and they just been so impatient for sex. Like, okay, like that's why they're triggered. Some of them, they want to procreate, and that's the issue. But they just feel like they need to be alone right now and just focus on releasing this chronic anger that they've been in, waiting for you to learn how to operate, or waiting for you to grow up from being a child friend. Okay, they're waiting on you to send you a letter. Okay, I'm hearing you're getting 2 letters actually, and you're anchored in hope. So just, they send you words of encouragement, flowers, so you know you're already on the right path. So don't get defensive. Just tell them that right now you're not ready, and sometimes you need your space or something like that. Okay, that's what I feel about 3. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you in the next one.